Community Viewpoint.
Good afternoon and welcome to Community Viewpoint. I'm John Pawlak, your host for this segment. We're excited to have Steve Morrison, Chief Financial Officer of our Valley Electric Company, sit down with us to announce to you, our co-op members, the new in-house residential solar installation company called Soul Power, offered to us by Valley Electric Association. So briefly, the process Valley Electric is proposing is a very simple and straightforward process. First of all, we have photovoltaic cells converting our ever-present light into DC or direct current. Our company will offer ground-mounted as well as roof-mounted systems. Secondly, the DC current changes into AC, alternating current through an inverter, which in turn supplies usable energy to our homes when it's needed. Afterwards, it sends excess energy back into our electrical grid, crediting our accounts. Soul Power will install the panels, inverter, and everything needed to make a complete solar power system for us, again, completely in-house. So let me have Steve explain to you the process and what it entails for our members. So I'll give you Stephen.
Thanks, John, and very glad to be here. Very glad to introduce Soul Power, your local clean energy choice, to our Valley community. In fact, let me tell you why we call it your local clean energy choice.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm thinking is local. Yours. Sorry, your is the first word. Your meaning you own it. Mm-hmm. You every member that is in our geography, that's a member of Valley Electric, owns a piece of Soul Power, just like they own a piece of Valley Electric. And so we will all dollars associated with the activity of Soul Power are part of the cooperative community. Mm-hmm. Local, kind of like the same feeling around your, right? The employees, the activities of Soul Power, all local. Sales will be local. Installation will be local. Financing will be local. We'll offer financing as well, and that will be local. So everything to do with this company is local. Keep the dollars local. Keep it in our community. Clean energy, it's just the wave of the future. Technology has changed over the last 6 decades, mm-hmm. and the way of delivering energy has changed with it and continues to change. It just takes a large company like ours a long time to convert or evolve with this technology. So it's time. The demand is there, and so we're happy to be engaged in solar, delivering solar energy to the community, and that's that last piece, which is choice. What we're offering is choice. So you can take your power the old-fashioned way across the grid. You can participate in community solar, which we have a community solar generating plant now. However, we don't have the facility for people to invest in that yet, but we're going to work on that. That's sort of an Easter egg for the future. I'll drop that now, but that's coming. And then the choice of generating your own power, and then connecting to the grid, the ease of connecting to the grid, mm-hmm. to Valley Electric's grid, for times when it's either cloudy or you don't have batteries, or it's nighttime when the sun's not shining. Mm-hmm. So Soul Power is going to be here forever. It's part of your local cooperative, and we're glad to offer to the community.
Well, solar power, the sun is one of the most abundant ways we can get power here in the Southwest. I just wonder why we haven't done this in the past. There are some solar power plants around the Tonopah, one with the mirrors that didn't fare too well though. But photovoltaics is easy to use, and they're good for about 20-25 years, guarantee, warranty, mm-hmm. and they're easy to maintain too.
They are, in fact, great point. One of the problems with, and you talked about why is it taking so long? For example, the sun doesn't send us a bill for the energy it sends to us, right? So So that seems to be the cheapest way to generate power. And what's taken so long? Two things really. One is the technology. The cost of the panels has improved over the last 20 years, and so that those prices are lower, makes entry into the market for consumers a little easier. Batteries are following that same line, that same trajectory, so batteries are going to become cheaper and cheaper down the line. But the other side, which is a little bit more complex, but our job is to deliver energy, and the best way to do it and keep prices fair and equal or stable is to enter into long-term agreements on the market for, say, 20 years or 25 years, and have a stable price so that we can deliver energy at a stable price or cost to you. That takes a long time to unwind that model, if you will. I will add, too, the construction of the current grid that we have that's been there for 6 decades or so contemplates a single generation source at one end of the line coming all the way down to the house at the other end of the line. And now we have a grid system where it has multiple generation nodes, if you will, which is a different system from an engineering standpoint. And that's going to take some time for us to evolve and come to grips with, right? And so what you see is technology allowing evolution in our industry that hasn't had to evolve for decades. And as we turn that evolution, as we grapple with that evolution, it's going to have benefits to the consumer where you're going to start to see utilities like us, although I think we're at the front end, you're going to start to see utilities like us engaging in or embracing this new technology.
As far as environmentalists go, this is the perfect way to do it, to generate power rather than, I've been involved with the big solar power plants on Tucopa Highway, the old Spanish Trail. We've had one that's gone down the tubes a couple of years ago. There's another proposal up there now with PV cells and batteries. But you have a great deal of line loss between where that plant is and where the power is going. So we, the environmentalists, say that will disrupt the environment, plus it's really not cost effective because of the amount of power that you'll lose. Environmentalists say the home power is the way to do it because you're right next to where you're needing it. You're generating it. If you don't use it, you bring it back into the grid and share it with your neighbors.
Right, great point. And the economics of the large solar fields, and maybe even let's say the community solar fields, which are smaller in scale, but maybe closer to the residential areas, and then the rooftop or backyard generators that you just mentioned. The economies or the financing models of each are very different, and the pros and cons are somewhat different as well, right? So I think for ultimate choice by our consumers, the best is probably at their home. However, not everyone, it's not for everyone.
No,
right?
no.
And costs can still be prohibitive. That's why we're offering financing as well.
The rest of us that cannot afford it, we will find other ways to lower our bills. There's many ways to lower our bills without, going to LED lighting, have drapes and curtains that keep the house cool, fans and things like that. There's many ways to bring down the price of the electricity you're using without going into something larger than the rooftop or the PCs, as we're talking about. So we'll be getting more information in the coming weeks through our news media, the Rural Light magazine.
The Rural Light magazine coming out the first week of September. We'll have an article on solar power in there. And I was going to say it will also have a phone number and an email address to reach us to talk about solar.
And what about the webpage?
Webpage, you can reach us through Valley Electric, VEA.coop.
So when do you think the first installations may be available to us?
Great question. In fact, we haven't even launched any marketing yet, and we've already had 50 consumers contact us through word of mouth, just hearing it. And so we've begun to prepare for installations. We expect our first installations around the 1st of October, if all goes well.
Well, that's not that far in advance. No, that's great. And you had how many people?
48 to 50, a little bit more today, but
So-
yeah, 48 to 50.
All right, so
Incredible, kind of an incredible sort of response with,
who leaked? Who leaked it?
it wasn't me. It's a great leak though.
Yes, it is,
There's a
yes.
lot of, we have seen over the last 2 years, incredible demand for rooftop solar.
Uh-huh.
And what a great place to have solar, right?
Yes,
And-
this is the most sun you'll get in the United States in this area.
Right, and that's why we're so committed to sort of grappling with because it's a complex issue, grappling with the complex evolutionary issues we need to do so that we could help our members with that demand. It just made most sense, and so we're happy to do it. It's not easy, but we're going to do it, and we're going to do it quickly. We're going to do it utility grade. We're going to do it with professionals, and we're going to keep it all local.
Well, that's great. That's great to hear. And what took us so long, I got to ask, is, yeah, we're way behind the curve, yeah. So I want to thank you, Steve, for taking time with us to explain this to us. And we will see, beginning of October, you said?
Yep.
All right, I'll hold you to that.
Okay.
All right, thank you very much. I
Thanks,
appreciate
John.
it. Thank you for watching, folks.